And joining us now to weigh in is South Carolina Congresswoman who is calling on Bill Gates to testify, House Oversight Committee member Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Mace, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We read excerpts of the letter that you wrote. I want to get your reaction to why you think it is so important to put Bill Gates on that stand.
Well, first of all, my letter was prompted by watching the interview with Melinda Gates that you just played. Very disturbing, and I feel terrible for her and what she has gone through over the years. And we need to get to the bottom of this. I don't care if you're from Hollywood. I don't care if you're the richest person in the world or in America like Bill Gates. If you have had this association and there are questions involved and people are saying you were involved, then we ought to get to the bottom of it. And I don't care how much money someone has, how much power, how much fame. If they were involved with Epstein in a nefarious way, they should go to jail, they should be investigated, and they should do time for what was done to those girls.
Congresswoman, what do you think we would learn? You know, you say his involvement. What do you think that might be? Or we don't know yet. And again, you just want him to come in and testify under oath.
I just want to ask him some questions. And according to Melinda Gates' interview last night, there are certain questions in emails we should be asking about. My letter referenced an email that Jeffrey Epstein wrote about Bill Gates. I'd like to know if the information contained in that letter was true and how far this went. And I feel terrible for Melinda Gates, and I feel she's a victim in all of this too. It's not just the underage girls, but the collateral damage that this Jeffrey Epstein child trafficking had, I think, potentially on other folks. It's sort of devastating to watch, but it shouldn't matter your name, your power, your influence. The billionaires who are involved, they should be questioned. Every one of them should be brought through before the Oversight Committee. I don't care if they're a Republican or a Democrat. Let's get to the bottom of it and have an honest conversation, and those who are involved go to jail.
Congresswoman, we know that former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton first said they would not testify. Now, all of a sudden, they are going to testify. Your reaction to that?
Well, I'll be there for their testimonial to answer questions. And one of my first questions for former President Bill Clinton, I hope he's ready for this, I want to know about the girls in the hot tub. I want to know, were they underage? Were they part of that trafficking scheme? What he knew about it, when he knew about it, and did he participate?
Congresswoman Ghislaine Maxwell as well, her deposition, what do you think we'll learn from that?
Well, it will depend on how honest she's willing to be with the Oversight Committee. You know, really, she's in prison. No deals have been done, to my knowledge, to pardon her. So the question will become, will she share that little black book? Will she tell us about the men who were predators, who are child rapists, who are participating in the sex trafficking ring? Because you can't have more than 1,000 victims and only one accomplice. There were witnesses. There were people who participated in the sex trafficking operation. I want names.
Congressman, I do want to get to this. An article was published earlier this week from New York Magazine. I know your team has already responded to it. It's titled, "Nancy Mace is not okay, something's broken." Also, the motherboards fried were short-circuiting somewhere, which went as far as to describe your behavior as erratic. I also want to point out that you are running for governor of South Carolina, so more in the public eye than ever. Your response to that?
Well, for people who say that I'm not okay, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay with Epstein co-conspirators walking free. I'm not okay with pedophiles in South Carolina getting 1 day in jail under the leadership of our Attorney General. I'm not okay with murderers walking free. I'm not okay with the death or execution of young women like Logan Federico by a guy that had over 20 felonies under his belt. There are a lot of victims, both sexual assault victims, murder victims, victims of child predators, for example, that I've been working with in South Carolina and across the country. What's happening right now where people don't go to jail for the crimes they commit because of their power, their wealth, or whomever they are, because the system is broken, none of us should be okay with that. And if I'm going to be attacked for standing up for those that don't have a voice, who can't stand on their own, then I'm going to be okay with that. And I say, bring it on to the mainstream media. If they can't break me, they're just going to make it up. And I'm here for it. And nothing's going to stop me from being governor of South Carolina.
Congresswoman, last question. Do you think that President Trump should answer more questions about the Epstein files?
Well, I believe he already has. I mean, he went to the authorities. He's the one that banned Jeffrey Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. He's been very open and very transparent. And I hope that he will support the efforts of the House Oversight Committee to get to the bottom of this. And I want to see people named. I want predators named. I want them investigated, and I want them to go to jail.
Even if they are some of the most powerful and richest men in the world.
Absolutely.
That's right.
All have somehow cozied up close to Jeffrey Epstein years ago. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, appreciate you coming on. Thank you.